That's what she sees. Got a kiss as well.
Somewhere Don Cal is seething. Yeah, the family's coffers aren't being enlarged by this one, but
What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to the Wrestlin Radio. I am your host, TREY, and we are back today with the review of AEW Dynasty, and I am not alone. This is not a solo episode because I am joined by the inevitable, the once-in-a-lifetime, the youngest of the youngest OGs. It is my little brother, Dylan. Everybody clap it up. Clap it up. Wow. You know, and I know you guys at home just heard nice cheer and applause, but me and Dylan, really, we just had to sit here and just be really quiet and awkward. Dylan is a 16-year-old young man. My younger brother never watched wrestling not once a day in his life. I mean, now come on, he's caught it a couple of times by me. You know, when I'll be watching it, he comes by. He knows a few names. He's got TikTok. Come on, and he's on there. He's watching it. He knows the big German guy. He said to me the other day. Yeah, he said the big German guy. Don't let him play like he knows the name. He said the big German guy. Okay, he knows Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. Okay, when he was younger, he had a CM Punk action figure long after CM Punk had left the WWE, and I remember seeing it, and I was like, dude, this is probably worth some money, and he was like, yeah, I mean, you could have it if you want. I remember he said that. I was like, no, you're going to want to keep this. He's like, no, man, you can have it. I was like, nah, man, you should keep this. Heart of Gold over here wanted to give me a CM Punk. I didn't take, though, because I'm a selfless guy. Come on, guys.
And then my all-time favorite wrestler, Kofi Kingston.
Kofi Kingston, what a base! Listen, one-time WWE champion. Let's not tell Dylan how he lost the title. No one say it. No one tell him. Let's let him live out the dream. Kofi never lost the title, bro. Don't. No one tell him. No one spoil it for him. It's like telling somebody how Santa's not real. Find out right now. Dylan feel it. This is how Dylan finds out.
I played him like every single day.
Fire.
Like 2K or like WWE 2K15, 2K14.
It's fire, bro. So this guy was on the train long before Kofi Kingston went on that Kofi Mania push to get the WWE Championship. Listen, base Dylan in the comments. All I'm saying, base Dylan in the comments. If we sound a little bit off, is because it is 1 o'clock in the morning. We are recording it right after AEW Dynasty, and we are delirious at this point after watching 7 hours of wrestling, however many matches. Dylan looked at me right after it went off the show. Right after the show went off the air, he said, "What was the first match?" So you know that's never a good sign if he can't remember what the first match was after you just watched the entire show. So maybe take that into account from a guy who's never watched wrestling. Hey, this is what we're here for. We're doing all kinds of takes. We're doing all kinds of opinions from people all around the world. That's why I got the new co-host chair for. All right, and whose opinion is better than anybody? Than a fan who's never watched. You know what I mean? If he can't remember who the first match is, brother, how do you expect to make new fans? You know what I mean? Before we get into the card, though, please, if you do not mind, go down there, subscribe, like the video. Please come back because guess what? 4 uploads this month. This is the second upload of April. 2 more to come. 2 spicy ones coming up. WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2. WrestleMania Night 1 special, WrestleMania Night 2 special as well. So just come around, come check that out, and let's talk wrestling. So this is AEW Dynasty from the Rogers Arena in Vancouver, Canada. As always, these match results are brought to you by Aaron Rift at NoDQ.com. Okay, and as you may know, Athen is selling saltwater taffy up in the Himalayas. Aaron Rift, if you want the smoke, you can still get it. The pigpen match is still on. I will whoop your ass, bury you in pig and send you packing. But nothing pisses me off more than that I was trying to look for somebody else besides you, Aaron Rift, and everybody's worse somehow. So, Aaron Rift, I'm sorry and I apologize. But still, if you want the pigpen match, brother, it is on. This pre-show, and I guess we should start with the pre-show and mention that Alex Windsor defeated Marina Shafir by pinfall in 8 minutes and 55 seconds. Camille, who returned tonight, pinned Big Ann. Hey, that's a good name right there. In 1 minute and 25 seconds. Jungle Jack Perry pinned Mark Davis with a roll-up after 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, I like that match.
The Divine Dominion, which is Dylan's favorite tag team, beat Maya and High and World by pinfall in 10 minutes and 35 seconds. And I have deemed that The Dylan Invitational. That was what that was called. The Divine Dominion is Dylan's favorite tag team. Out of a 15, how about sold you out? 16-year-old man over here.
Yeah.
I about sold you short there, big guy.
I thought it was pretty crazy how they had that as a pre-match.
Yeah.
Like the world championship for tag team women.
You see, Dylan mentioned that to me as we were sitting there. A guy who's never watched wrestling before. Can you imagine this? Just built for the business. Just built in the blood over here. That he looks over, he says, "Do you think they should have the world tag team titles on the pre-show?" And I was like, Dylan, you know what? You're right. Why would they have a world title? It's a world title on your pre-show. So very based opinion from Dylan. First time viewer, 16 years old. Prodigy, perhaps? Guys, can we maybe take opinions? Maybe we should start pumping some TRT, some steroids into this guy and get him going up to the Fed. What is that? Oh, wait, where is it at? Which one is it?
I say we send him down to CMLL, get him polished up down there, learn a little lucha libre, send him up to Stu, learn him how to stretch people a little bit, throw a little gas in his ass, pump him up, call vets.
Perfect. Exactly. See, and I just can't get over and can't explain to you guys how when you hear these sounds, how awkwardly quiet it is in here. That's the pre-show, so I have to mention that off the top. So the first match on the main card is the Young Bucks versus Takeshita and Okada. Dylan likes Okada. He likes Takeshita. See, I'm of a guy who, when I was younger, just off the top of my head thinking, the Young Bucks were a tag team in TNA called Generation Me. And they were the young guys, right? And they looked pretty much the same. They did the same work. But I remember when I saw them, I was like, well, these guys are crazy. They were kind of like the Hardy Boys. They were doing pretty much the same stuff they were doing now. So I thought, when I saw the card and how it was laid out, I thought you would like the Young Bucks. Because that's how I gravitated to when I was younger and when I was like 16, like your age. So, which I think is pretty cool that you like. And you told me that no opinion, formed his own opinion by himself. I didn't have to even ask him, cue him up. He just told me Okada and Takeshita, which I think, hey, what's that say about him? You know what I mean? So the first match on the card was the Young Bucks versus the Don Callis family, Okada and Takeshita. Okada shook hands with Takeshita, and the two worked well together in the early moments. However, the Bucks were able to use their double-team offense to gain the upper hand. Okada was eventually able to stop their momentum. Callis gouged Matt's eyes while the referee wasn't looking. Okada mocked the Bucks by wearing their attire and standing in their corner, winning a tag. However, it backfired as he was hit with a super kick. Matt took down both of his opponents and was able to tag out to Nick. The Bucks built up momentum with various moves, including double sharpshooters. Okada and Take slapped each other as motivation to reach the ropes. Things broke down with each team trading moves. Takeshita gave Matt an avalanche German suplex, and Take hit a power drive knee, but Nick was able to break up the pin. The Bucks regained the advantage, but Take managed to hit both Bucks with a power drive knee. The crowd gave them a standing ovation. Things fell apart for Okada and Takeshita as they started attacking each other. They regrouped, but then Take accidentally hit Okada with a power drive knee. The Bucks hit a BTE trigger on Okada, but he kicked out. The Bucks went for a TK driver, but Takeshita grabbed Nick's foot. However, Takeshita rethought, decided to let go of Nick's foot. The Bucks hit the TK driver, and they pin Okada, and I guess now they are the number one contenders for the tag titles. What's going on? Dylan loves Okada, so that's a big plus for this match. I thought this was a good Bucks match for what it was. A lot of times you'll see a Young Bucks match like the one we watched with FTR and the last one at Revolution. They overly indulge. They like to do a lot of shit. Was this a lot of shit? It was a lot of shit, but it was solid. The match was solid altogether. I wasn't a hater this time. That match was 19 minutes and 55 seconds. The next match on the card is Ricochet versus Chris Jericho.
Immediately, I didn't like that one.
Is it because Chris Jericho's old? That would be what it was?
Definitely.
That would be what it was that got you, huh? So this is Jericho's first match back after re-signing with AEW. After everybody thought he was going to sign with WWE, but he did not. He swerved everybody. Jericho milked the positive crowd reaction as the match started. Jericho gained the early advantage, and after receiving a "You Still Got It" chant, he looked at the camera and said, "I never lost it." I don't know about that. I remember the learning tree.
Definitely have it.
Jericho took the camera and filmed Ricochet's bald head. The tide finally turned after Jericho went for a lion saw, but Ricochet pushed him to the apron. Ricochet then gave Jericho a DVD on the apron, Death Valley Driver. Back in the ring, Ricochet targeted Jericho's shoulder. Jericho was eventually able to make a comeback and hit his lion salt. Jericho went for the walls of Jericho, but Gates of Agony interfered to help Ricochet regain control. Jericho managed to counter Vertigo with a code breaker. Jericho delivered a top rope Hurricane Rana, but Ricochet regained control and hit Vertigo. After Jericho kicked out, Ricochet went for a shooting star press, and now this spot right here is awesome. Reminiscent of the Randy Orton and Evan Bourne bump. Ricochet goes up for the shooting star press, and right on time, Jericho hits the code breaker right on the money. Jericho applied the walls of Jericho afterwards, but Gates of Agony helped Ricochet reach the ropes again. Jericho responded with a dive to all three Gates of Agony members on the outside. With Gates of Agony's help, Ricochet was able to hit the shooting star press, but Jericho kicked out again. After Ricochet hit the spirit gun, he went for the pin, but Gates of Agony said he should hit the lion salt, add insult to injury. And Ricochet obliges, hits the lion salt, and pins Jericho. 1, 2, 3. That match was 14 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, Dylan told me at the top, you heard him, said he didn't like it at all, off the rip. I told Dylan I think he may like Ricochet's work if he wasn't in there with someone of the age of Chris Jericho. So I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll have to maybe put him on and have him back on when Ricochet wrestles a Will Ospreay or a Kevin Knight or a Mike Bailey or somebody like that.
Anthony Bowens.
He also likes Anthony Bowens, guys. Come on. I'm just saying, look at these guys who are standing out to Dylan. So the next match on the card was Andrade El Idolo versus Darby Allin.
I like Darby Allin from just seeing him once.
That's what I was saying. I thought he would like him just off the rip. Also, I thought you would like him by the way he's going to kill himself in the middle of the ring. So after gaining the early advantage, Andrade took a selfie with a female fan at ringside, but this allowed Darby to hit the coffin drop into the ringside barricade. After the two fought into the crowd, Darby drop-kicked Andrade down the aisle steps. Now, I'm not too sure how long they were outside, but why is the referee following them outside if it's not a no disqualification match, right? Why is the referee not inside counting? Seems to be a common theme with this certain referee. It seems to be a common theme going on in this company. I'm just sorry if the rules don't matter. You know what I mean? How am I supposed to care? How am I supposed to care? Back in the ring, Andrade was able to regain control. Andrade went for an avalanche Samoan drop, but Darby countered it midair into a crossface as they hit the mat. That was awesome. Okay, this was executed perfectly. Andrade escaped to the outside, but Darby continued on with the offense. The momentum shifted back to Andrade after he suplexed Darby off the apron onto the floor, leading to a holy shit chant. After returning to the ring, Andrade took his pants off. Andrade continued his offense, but Darby fought back. Pause.
That's not wrestling, dude. That's fucking gay.
So Darby delivered a coffin drop, but Andrade was able to stop the referee from making the 3 count. Yes, Aubrey Edwards goes to hit 3, and instead of kicking out, he just grabs her hand. He's not able to kick out, which I thought was pretty interesting. They sell it on commentary as such. So I thought that was pretty cool they did that. Andrade came back with the back fist, but Darby kicked out. Darby then countered the DM and pinned Andrade to win the match. After the match, Andrade showed sportsmanship by shaking Darby's hand. Subsequently, turning heel or turning babyface, I guess, because he said he's sick of doing somebody else's bidding. That MJF is funding the Don Callis family, so he has problems with MJF. So I guess maybe this is a bit of a babyface turn for Andrade, perhaps. So you like Darby? You didn't like Andrade? You didn't like the way he turned his pants? He took his pants off for you?
No.
Pause, brother.
Remind me of somebody I know at my school.
Hey yo, hey yo. Okay. Anyways, that match was 16 minutes and 30 seconds. Solid match, but I guess this means that we'll get Darby versus MJF, double or nothing. No spoilers for later, but that is MJF's hometown where double or nothing's happening. So maybe that'll be the match. I believe this was for number 1 contendership. I believe so. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to Darby Allin jumping off the highest thing possible and hopes to win the world title. The next match on the card is Cope and Cage versus FTR for the World's Tag Team Championship. So to start the match, as Copeland came out, the crowd sang Copeland's music even after it stopped playing. Cash wanted a handshake, but Copeland refused, and the match immediately erupted in the hockey fight until order was restored. While Copeland and Christian had the early advantage, the crowd sang the Canadian national anthem. FTR was eventually able to slow down the pace. Christian delivered a low blow that the referee didn't see, and then hit a dive onto FTR on the outside. Which is okay that Christian does it because he's kind of a tweener. He's really a heel, but just because he's with Edge is because he's a babyface now. So he's a babyface by proxy. Back in the ring, Christian hit the kill switch on Dax, but Cash broke up the pin. FTR took full control as they targeted Christian's arm. After gouging the eyes, Christian was able to take out Copeland, who built up momentum for the team. What? That doesn't seem like that was right. Aaron Rift, this is why, man, me and you pigpen match, because I don't even know what you're saying here, brother. You say that Christian took out Copeland. I hope. Who built up momentum for the team. Copeland and Christian applied double crossface submissions, but FTR escaped. Cash was able to hit Copeland with a tag team title while the referee was distracted, but Copeland kicked out. Despite Copeland being busted open, Copeland and Christian came back with a shatter machine to Dax. Went for the cover, but he kicked out. Copeland hit a spear to Dax, but the pin was broken up. Interference from Stokely allowed FTR to hit Copeland with a shatter machine. They went for the cover, but Christian threw Stokely into the pin attempt. After Cash threw Christian into the timekeeper's area, FTR double-teamed a bloody Copeland. Copeland managed to stay in the fight with a double spear. Despite this, FTR hits the shatter machine, goes for the cover on Edge. 1, 2, 3. FTR retains the titles. That match was 21 minutes and 10 seconds. Dylan, you've never seen Edge or Christian wrestle or even know who they are, huh?
What I got from like FTR, like Dax. I thought he was pretty cool. Like I like his like high flying moments of like a few of them.
Yeah,
because like he's bulky.
Yeah, he is. You would think that. I mean, Cash is normally the one that goes does the high flying moments or the high spots technically, but you don't think that Dax would be that agile for a big man. He is fucking round, ain't he? He looks like, I don't know, 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, but he does move pretty nice for a guy that shape. You know, yeah. I do agree. Now, I will say this: we know on the podcast, if you're a constant listener, that FTR matches, they overindulge. They love doing the shit on top of other shit. You know what I mean? They love always adding a little something else on there. But Edge and Christian, you know, they reeled it in. That match was great. They had me the whole time on the edge of my seat. I really did think that Edge and Christian were going to do it right here in this moment. But I think they're going to build up to the triangle ladder match or the triangle TLC or whatever they're going to do at Allin with the Bucks and then the FTR and then Edge and Christian. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm intrigued. Next match on the card is the Casino Gauntlet match for the TNT Championship. Tommaso Ciampa and Rush were the first two entrants. Bandito, who was the third entrant, hit a frog splash on Rush, but Ciampa broke up the pin. Speedball Bailey was fourth and had a strike exchange with Rush. El Clone was fifth, Pac was sixth, and Daniel Garcia was seventh. Oh, he knows, huh? Pac and Garcia worked together against El Clone. Like Dylan said, Anthony Bowens was eighth, and this is Dylan's pick. As of in the moment, Anthony Bowens is Dylan's pick. Kevin Knight was ninth, and he worked with his partner Bailey against Pac and Garcia. After Wheeler Yuta came in at 10th, Bandito and El Clone wiped out everyone on the outside. Ciampa then gave Knight a suplex on the outside pile. Back in the ring, Knight pinned Garcia with a UFO splash to become the new TNT champion, Kevin Knight. That match was 21 minutes and 5 seconds. I cannot believe in my heart of hearts that you thought Anthony Bowens was going to win. I love that, though. I love because he's not like in the mix at all, you know? But for you, like a guy who's never watched it, like if that's a guy you saw and you go, this guy's good, which he is good. He's a good wrestler.
I'd like to see a match between him and Ricochet based off what you said.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that probably would go hard. And that's what I'm saying, though. Anthony Bowens is a guy who's not going to get the ball unless, someone gives him the chance. So maybe TK. All I'm saying is, man, I know Tony Khan's listening to the Wrestling Radio. That's all. I mean, obviously he is. There's 58 of us out here, okay? And, I mean, by the odds, he must be one of those 58 people, right? Come on. TK, go ahead and book it out. Anthony Bowens and Ricochet, please. For the world title. Okay. It's 1 in the morning, guys. What do you want? It's 1 in the morning. It's 1:36 in the morning. Okay? I just got done watching 7 hours of wrestling. I'm delirious. Don't quote me on anything I'm saying, guys. It's 1:36 in the morning. But this show ruled. I can't lie. I'm happy I stayed up for it.
I think the earlier parts of the show was boring there.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this match specifically.
Yeah.
Not the show.
Okay, I see what you're saying. This next match you're saying coming up?
No, this match right here.
Casino Gauntlet?
Yeah.
Okay. You thought it was boring on a match that's in and out.
Yeah, I didn't. It
Guys,
didn't really take my interest until Anthony Bowens came in. Actually, the clone.
El Clone?
Yeah, El Clone came in.
Yeah.
That when I really started picking up watching.
Okay. Now, mind you guys, you got to take this with a grain of salt. If you're not around many 15, 16-year-old guys, they're TikTok brained out of their mind. If you don't have the Subway Surfers under it, they're not really locked in. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So take everything you're hearing with a grain of salt. I agree that sometimes you find a bit of a lull, and especially in a Casino Gauntlet like that where they don't really ever do the stipulation. You know what I mean? The stipulation is there's going to be this many people in the ring. It's the spectacle of it, right? I think we honestly did this on maybe two AEW reviews ago, but they did one recently, a Casino Gauntlet. The stipulation is the spectacle, seeing a bunch of people in the ring at once. They just throw everybody out of the ring and then fucking have one-on-one matches. Bro, give me 8 of them in the ring at once. That's what I want, okay? But whatever. What do I know? I'm a guy on the internet. I'm a dumbass on the internet at 1:38 in the morning. So the next match on the card is Jamie Hayter versus Thekla for the AEW Women's World Championship. Alex Windsor's backstage at the Brawling Birds bar. Ice pack on her head from earlier tonight. As she tells Jamie Hayter, it's her turn. Hayter downs a beer before heading to the ring. Thekla hit a spear early in the match and applied a submission, but Jamie got her foot on the rope. Jamie was able to build momentum as the two fought on the outside. After they fought on the ramp, Thekla gained the upper hand with a DDT. Thekla then delivered a top rope flying crossbody to Jamie on the outside. Back in the ring, Thekla continued her dominance, but Jamie was eventually able to make a comeback. After hitting a Liger bomb, Hayter delivered a tombstone pile driver. Went for the cover, but Thekla kicked out. Thekla regained the upper hand, but Jamie was able to counter with a spear with a knee strike. However, Thekla raked Jamie's eyes and pinned her while grabbing the ropes to retain her title. Post-match, Alex Windsor hits the ring and pleads with the referee, Steven Smith, that Thekla had the ropes, but he tells her he didn't see it. Julia Hart and Sky Blue celebrate with Thekla ringside as she mocks Hayter for good measure. That match was 17 minutes even. Dylan, any thoughts on Thekla versus Jamie Hayter?
I couldn't keep my attention on it.
Why can't you keep your attention on it? Is it because it's 2 women wrestling, huh? Let's see here. Where's this at? Where's this at? Where the fuck is it at?
I can't tell you how free I feel now that I've started identifying as
You're
a
telling
woman.
me you can't pay attention to women's wrestling? Why not? Is it because you're sexist a pig? Is it because you're a piece of shit scumbag?
No,
Is it because you're a dirt ball?
I was watching the Dylan Invitational earlier.
The Dylan Invitational ruined it for you, huh?
It feels like it's just not about wrestling at that point.
What, bro?
With
What
the
do you
camera angles they're
mean?
getting.
What do you mean, bro? Oh, whatever, bro. I think, listen, Tekla's entrance is still one of the greatest entrants right now. Thekla is slowly becoming one of my favorite women's wrestlers in the game. Scratch that. One of my favorite wrestlers. She's a beast, okay? And she's willing to die for this. She'll fucking go out there and run her head through a wall. She says the craziest shit you've ever heard on the microphone. Okay, so I'm down for it. Thekla, we should probably give her like a 1,000-day reign. Give her the Roman Reigns run. The next match on the card is Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley for the AEW Continental Championship. Renee Paquette is ringside, and she says that Ospreay is making it his goal to get retribution. An eye for an eye and a neck for a neck. There's no Death Riders and no United Empire in this match under Continental rules. Ospreay hit a hidden blade on Moxley immediately when the bell rang, but didn't go for a cover and sent Moxley to the outside with another hidden blade. Ospreay continued his offense, which included sending Moxley into the steel steps. Ospreay went for the stomp on the steps, but Moxley avoided it and gave Ospreay a paradigm shift on the floor. After avoiding a pile driver on the apron, Ospreay went for a springboard clothesline, but Moxley caught Ospreay with a strike instead. The two traded blows, but it was Moxley who regained the upper hand. Ospreay fought back, but was having issues with his neck. Moxley delivered another paradigm shift, but Ospreay responded with another hidden blade. Both men are down. Ospreay delivered a Styles Clash, but Moxley kicks out of the pin attempt. Ospreay connected with another hidden blade, but couldn't make the cover right away with 5 minutes left. After the two went back to the outside, Moxley gave Ospreay a pile driver on the steps. Despite being checked on by medical staff, Ospreay managed to beat the 10 count. Moxley immediately hit 2 more paradigm shifts, but Ospreay still kicks out. Moxley then hits the Death Rider, goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Moxley retains the Continental Championship, and this match is 18 minutes even. Now, Ospreay is a guy that Dylan, I think, would really like. Mind you here, I did catch him face deep in his cell phone during this time, okay? So he didn't catch much of the Jon Moxley Will Ospreay match, but do you have any thoughts?
Not really.
So after that match, Renee Paquette is backstage with Darby Allin, who said if there's a time to cash in his AEW World Title match, it's in Everett, Washington, where he started his career. He tells Max and Kenny he'll be watching because come Wednesday, it's showtime. The next match on the card is the Conglomeration versus the Dogs for the World's Trios Championships. Prior to the match, there was a skit on the stage that led to the return of Kyle O'Reilly as the third member of the Conglomeration. The Dogs destroyed the set as they came out and made their entrance. O'Reilly was hurt early in the match after being double-teamed on the outside. Back in the ring, don't look at me like that. Back in the ring, the Dogs double-teamed Cassidy, but Cassidy was eventually able to tag out to Strong. Kid was taken to the back as he seemingly suffered a legitimate injury. Damn. The situation was acknowledged on commentary. Damn. Get well soon, Gabe Kidd. The Dogs regained control, but O'Reilly got back into the mix. O'Reilly applied an ankle lock submission, and Connors tapped out, making the Conglomeration the new champions. Now, I wonder if that was planned to go like that. Or if, because they just put the trios titles on the Dogs. As of, in universe, the night before. But they really have been champions for like 4 days. So I don't know if that was meant to happen or if TK in the back hit a little audible because of Gabe Kidd going down, or they knew it was going to be bad. I don't know. But new trios champions, the Conglomeration, coming off of Kyle O'Reilly's return. What do you think about the Dogs? Tell me. What do you think about the Conglomeration? Nah, huh? Not for you?
They're not.
Not for me.
None of those guys piqued my interest at all.
Not for me. It's a not for me button. Let's see if I have. I need a not for me. Nah. Let's just hear this.
Who's the marks? Who's the marks?
We're gonna have a not for me button here soon, guys. That match was 10 minutes even. So the main event of the evening, and one Dylan talked about heavily going into the night, was Kenny Omega versus MJF for the AEW World's Championship. A lot of speculation going into this match as we're heading into All-In season, the biggest show of the year for AEW. We got to start seeing who the champ's going to be and how that card's going to shape up. If they were going to pull a trigger, it would have been tonight. I don't think they're going to change the title. ahead of their biggest show of the year any closer now. Tonight was the deadline on it, pretty much. And the guy. It was the guy and the deadline. The referee confiscated the Dynamite Diamond Ring from MJF as the match started. The two had a filling out process, but then MJF bailed to the outside. Friedman returned to the ring and denied a handshake from Omega. Omega went after MJF on the outside and delivered a moonsault off the barricade. After placing the timekeeper's table on MJF, Omega hit a stomp on top of MJF. Back in the ring, Friedman crossed Omega on the top rope to gain the advantage. Max mocked Omega's taunt, but that allowed Omega to connect with a Snapdragon suplex. Omega built up momentum, but connected with a dive after MJF rolled to the outside. Back in the ring, MJ countered the one-winged angel and hit a destroyer, but Omega immediately responded with a knee strike. After the momentum went back and forth, Omega connected with a moonsault to the outside. Back in the ring, MJF regained the advantage and targeted Omega's midsection. His history diverticulitis. MJF came off the top, but Omega caught him with a knee strike. Omega delivered an avalanche one-winged angel, but couldn't make the cover, and MJF rolled to the outside of the ring. Omega got MJF back in the ring and built up momentum. MJF came back with a crossroads, followed by a package pile driver. But Omega kicks out of the pin attempt. MJF taunted Omega again, and that led to a fired-up Omega delivering numerous strikes. After hitting 2 V-triggers, he went for a third, but MJF pulled the referee into the path, and the referee goes down. MJF gave Omega a low blow. After the referee's down, he goes into the referee's pockets and gets the Dynamite Diamond Ring out. So after he gets it out, MJF gave Omega a low blow and tried to use the Dynamite Diamond Ring, but Omega countered with a one-winged angel. A second referee entered the ring to count, but MJF kicks out. Omega tried to put MJF through the table on the apron, but MJF hit him with the ring in the midsection. After putting Omega through the table with a pile driver, MJF got Omega back in the ring and pinned him with the Heat Seeker DDT. MJF retains the AEW World's Championship. This match was 39 minutes even. I have a hard time believing all these matches are evens, but that's what it says here. 39 minutes even for MJF to retain his AEW World's Championship. This match was billed as the God of Pro Wrestling versus the Devil, and the Devil has killed God. Guys, report that. The Devil has killed God. Okay? This is a banger match. Now, is it the best match they've had? They've had 2. The first one's better. Maybe because the stakes felt a little bit more. Maybe because the ending felt a little flat to me, just a little bit. And I don't know why, because it was a great match this time. Is it the best time? Is it the best match? They build it as the God of Pro Wrestling versus the Devil. I'm sorry, if it left me a little wanting more, to say the least. Dylan, what did you think about that match?
I thought it was pretty great. I thought Kenny Omega got robbed with the 15-second count.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dylan, he looked at me with like defeat whenever MJF pinned Kenny Omega.
And he didn't reach out.
Yeah, didn't get the ropes or anything. Dylan looked at me with defeat, which is that's how you know. That's when pro wrestling is the most real, brother. When you get that look, he look over and he goes, he couldn't believe that Kenny Omega didn't kick out. Maybe that's why I also felt a little sour, because now I saw myself as a young man when I first watched wrestling. Maybe that's why I'm a little sour on it. Maybe that could be it. You know, maybe I'm just a hater. But that match was still great. It still was great. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But that was the card. That was AEW Dynasty. Setting up, we're on the road to Double or Nothing in AEW, and that will be the next pay-per-view for them. So we'll be back to review that. On the road to Allin, which is their biggest WrestleMania-like pay-per-view every year, which is going back to the Wembley Stadium out in London, the UK, out in the UK. But other than that, Dylan, any last words to leave the people from you? Sign off for yourself. I'm gonna give the people a little bit of an earful, but you go ahead and sign off for yourself.
Okada should have won. He was robbed.
Okay.
If he pulled his foot, if he pulled him out of the ring, he would have won. Would have got up, won.
That's bullshit. You're still thinking it's bullshit, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I like that. And I like that you're invested. And we'll have to have you back on for the next one, or we'll have to, down the line on an AEW one, we'll have to have you back on just to see how you feel about it later on. Are you going to keep up with wrestling? You think? Do you think you're going to keep up with wrestling?
Maybe.
Hell no. That's a hell no, boys. Y'all know that. Other than that, guys, we got a lot of stuff coming out on the channel this month. 2 more podcasts after this one. So a WrestleMania Night 1 review, a WrestleMania Night 2 review. Listen to the Wrestling Radio, like the video, subscribe, and thank you all for talking wrestling. After Cash threw Christian over the After Cash threw Christian into the oh my God. After Cash threw Christian over the Let me retake that. After Cash threw Christian damn. All right, here we go. I got this. After Cash threw Christian over the After Cash threw Christian into the timekeeper's area, FTR double teamed a bloody Copeland.